What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Travelers Café, back with another adventure. And this time, we're trading in the urban jungle for something a little different. We're headed to the heartland, the breadbasket, the sunflower state itself, Kansas. Now, I know what you're thinking. Kansas? What's in Kansas? Well, let me tell you, a whole lot more than meets the eye. We're talking bustling cities, charming towns, wide open spaces, and a history as rich as a Kansas wheat field. Over the next few days, we're going to be your tour guides, taking you to all the must-see spots, from iconic landmarks to hidden gems you won't find in any guidebook. We're talking museums, parks, historical sites, and maybe even a rodeo or two. Okay, maybe not a rodeo, but you get the idea. So whether you're a history buff, a nature lover, or just looking for a good old-fashioned American road trip, Kansas has something for everyone. Let's hit it. First stop on our Kansas adventure, Wichita, the largest city in the state, and a place that's near and dear to my heart. Wichita is known as the air capital of the world, and as a guy who's spent his fair share of time in the air, I can appreciate that. But Wichita is more than just plains. It's a city with a cool, laid-back vibe, a thriving arts and culture scene, and some seriously delicious food. I'm talking about barbecue that'll make your taste buds sing and burgers that are bigger than your head. We'll check out the Keeper of the Plains, a 44-foot-tall steel sculpture that's become a symbol of the city. So stick around because things are about to get interesting. All right, guys, we're diving headfirst into the heart of Wichita, and there's no better place to start than Old Town. This place is like stepping back in time, with its brick streets, historic buildings, and a vibe that just screams classic Americana. We're talking old-school saloons, live music spilling out onto the streets, and enough restaurants to satisfy every craving imaginable. Whether you're in the mood for a juicy steak, some spicy Mexican food, or just a good old-fashioned burger and fries, Old Town has got you covered. But Old Town's not just about food and drinks. It's also a shopper's paradise, with boutiques selling everything from vintage clothing to handmade jewelry. And for those of you who are into history, there are plenty of historical sites and museums to keep you busy. So grab your walking shoes, loosen your belt buckles, and get ready to experience the best of Wichita's past and present, all in one place. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. All right, guys, get ready for a serious dose of cuteness overload, because today we're heading to the Sedgwick County Zoo, one of the biggest and best zoos in the entire country. And trust me, this ain't your average petting zoo. We're talking over 3,000 animals from all corners of the globe. We're talking majestic lions basking in the sun, playful penguins diving into icy waters, and towering giraffes munching on leaves. And if you're feeling brave, you can even get up close and personal with some of the friendlier residents. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have a soft spot for animals, especially the ones that are a little bit goofy or mischievous. So you can bet I'll be spending some quality time with the primates trying to decipher their monkey business. But whether you're a primate enthusiast like me or you prefer your animals with a little more roar, the Sedgwick County Zoo has something for everyone. So grab your camera, pack some snacks, and let's go on a wild adventure. Now I know what you're thinking, a zoo is a zoo, right? Wrong. Sedgwick County Zoo is more than just a place to look at animals. It's a conservation powerhouse, dedicated to protecting endangered species and educating the public about wildlife. They've got breeding programs for some of the world's most vulnerable creatures, and they're constantly working on new initiatives to help protect our planet's biodiversity. So by visiting the zoo, you're not just having a good time, you're actually supporting a really important cause. And it's not just about the animals here. The zoo itself is stunning, with lush gardens, sparkling ponds, and plenty of shady spots to escape the Kansas sun. You could easily spend an entire day here and still not see everything. So whether you're a die-hard animal lover, a conservation enthusiast, or just looking for a fun and educational day out, Sedgwick County Zoo is a must-see. Trust me, you'll leave feeling inspired and amazed by the natural world. Okay, so maybe rhinos aren't really your thing. no judgment here. If you're looking for something a little more chill, a little more zen, then you gotta check out Botanica Wichita. Now, I'm not usually one for gardens. I mean, I appreciate a good tree as much as the next guy, but wandering around looking at flowers all day? Not exactly my idea of a good time, but Botanica, this place is different. It's not just some random collection of plants, it's like walking through a work of art. Seriously, the way they've designed these gardens, the colors, the textures, the smells, it's all so intentional, so well thought out. It's actually pretty incredible. They've got themed gardens from all over the world. You can wander through a Japanese garden, complete with a koi pond and a tea house, or get lost in a tropical rainforest, surrounded by lush greenery and exotic flowers. They've even got a butterfly garden where you can walk among hundreds of these colorful creatures. And the best part? It's right in the middle of the city. So if you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, like you need a break from the hustle and bustle, just head over to Botanica. Trust me, you'll feel your blood pressure drop the second you step foot inside. All right, guys, we're packing up the gear and hitting the road again. Next stop, Kansas City. Now, I know what you're thinking. Kansas City? Isn't that in Missouri? Well, yeah, kinda. But there's also a Kansas City, Kansas. And let me tell you, it's got just as much to offer as its more famous neighbor across the state line. We're talking history, culture, art, food, music, you name it, Kansas City's got it all. Plus, it's got that whole Midwest charm thing going on. You know, friendly people, laid-back vibes, no one's in a rush. It's refreshing, you know? Especially coming from the chaos of New York City. First up on our Kansas City adventure, the National World War I Museum and Memorial. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another museum? Casey, come on, man. But trust me on this one. This isn't your average stuffy, boring museum. This place is powerful, man. It tells the story of one of the most significant events in human history, and it does it in a way that's both informative and deeply moving. You'll see artifacts from the war, hear first-hand accounts from soldiers, and learn about the impact the war had on the world. It's an experience you won't soon forget. All right, guys, we're talking Kansas City, and you gotta hit up the National World War I Museum and Memorial. This place throws you headfirst into the trenches of WWO, surrounded by artifacts, photographs, and stories that'll make your jaw drop. This museum doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of war. It's heavy stuff, but it's important, you know? The view from the top, breathtaking. It's a powerful reminder of the human cost of war and the importance of peace. One of the things that really gets me about this museum is the way they tell the stories of everyday people caught in the crossfire. It's not just about generals and battles, it's about the nurses, the soldiers in the trenches, the families back home. They've got these letters on display written by soldiers to their loved ones. You read their words, their hopes, their fears, and it's like a punch to the gut. You realize these were real people with families and dreams just like you and me. And the artifacts, man. Uniforms riddled with bullet holes, gas masks, weapons, personal items. Each one tells a story, a grim reminder of the brutal reality of war. It's heavy stuff, no doubt, but it's important to remember, to learn from the past, and to honor the sacrifices made. This museum doesn't let you forget, and that's what makes it so powerful. Okay, art lovers, buckle up. The Nelson Atkins Museum of Art is a must-see, and I'm not just saying that. This place is a wonderland of art from around the world, spanning centuries. Seriously, they've got everything from ancient Egyptian tombs to iconic paintings by Monet and Van Gogh. Walking through these halls is like taking a crash course in art history. You'll see masterpieces you've only seen in textbooks, up close and personal. And the best part? It's free. You heard that right, free. But let's talk about the real showstopper here, the block building. This architectural marvel is a work of art in itself. It's all sleek lines, glass walls, and natural light pouring in. It's the perfect backdrop for the incredible art collection inside. Trust me, you could spend days exploring this museum and still not see everything. So, whether you're an art aficionado or just appreciate beautiful things, add the Nelson Atkins to your Kansas City itinerary. You won't regret it. One of the things I love about the Nelson Atkins is that it's not just paintings and sculptures. They've got this incredible collection of Asian art, from intricate scrolls to massive Buddha statues. You walk into these galleries, and it's like stepping into another world. And then there's the African art collection with masks, sculptures, and textiles that are just mind-blowing. Each piece tells a story, reflecting the diverse cultures and traditions of the continent. Don't even get me started on the photography collection. They've got works by legends like Ansel Adams and Dorothea Lange. Seeing those iconic images printed and framed is a whole different experience. The Nelson Atkins is proof that art comes in all shapes and sizes, from different cultures and time periods. It's a celebration of creativity and human expression, and it's an experience that'll stay with you long after you leave. All right, Shopaholics, listen up. If you're looking for some serious retail therapy, Legends Outlet's Kansas City is the place to be. We're talking designer brands at outlet prices, people. This isn't your grandma's outlet mall either. We're talking Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, J.Crew, Banana Republic, you name it, they probably have it. And the best part, you can score some serious deals. I'm talking 50%, 60%, even 70% off retail. It's enough to make your wallet sing. But Legends Outlets isn't just about shopping till you drop. They've got a movie theater, restaurants, and even a Dave & Buster's. So you can easily make a whole day of it. Whether you're looking for a new outfit, a bargain on some sneakers, or just a fun day out, Legends Outlets has got you covered. So ditch the boring department stores and experience the thrill of the outlet hunt. One thing I really appreciate about Legends Outlets is that they get the whole experience thing. It's not just about bombarding you with stores and calling it a day. They've got this cool open-air layout so you can actually enjoy the fresh air and sunshine while you shop. And speaking of enjoyment, let's talk about the food. They've got everything from quick bites to sit-down restaurants. So whether you're craving a juicy burger, some authentic Mexican food, or just a cup of coffee, you're covered. And if you're looking for some entertainment, they've got you covered there too. Catch a movie at the AMC Theater, challenge your friends to a game at Dave & Buster's, or just people watch while you sip on a latte. Legends Outlets gets that shopping shouldn't be a chore, it should be an experience. So, next time you're in Kansas City and need a little retail therapy, you know where to go. All right, guys, we're leaving the bright lights of Kansas City behind. It's time to hit the road and head west to Lawrence, Kansas. Lawrence has a different vibe, all about creativity and knowledge. Home to the University of Kansas, producing Nobel laureates and legendary athletes. The energy spills from the campus into the streets, making it a hub of cool. Lawrence is going to surprise you. Now listen up, history buffs, because Lawrence has a story to tell. This town was a battleground in the fight against slavery, a place where people stood up for what they believed in, even when the odds were stacked against them. You can feel that history in the air, in the buildings, in the very streets you walk on. But Lawrence isn't stuck in the past, not even close. It's taken that history, that fighting spirit, and channeled it into something totally unique. Think independent coffee shops blasting indie music, vintage stores overflowing with treasures, and murals that pop off the walls with color and light. It's like history and hipster culture collided here, and the result is pure magic. And the best part, it's all just waiting to be explored. So grab your walking shoes, charge up those cameras, and get ready to discover the heart of Kansas. Welcome to the University of Kansas, or KU as the cool kids call it. This place is different. It's not just about textbooks and exams. Ideas are born here. Innovation is a way of life. The energy, the passion, the drive to make a difference. It's contagious. For over 150 years, shaping minds and changing the world. Now I know what you're thinking. This is all very inspiring, but what about the fun stuff? Don't worry, folks. KU has got you covered. First up, we gotta talk about the Natural History Museum. Forget boring dioramas and dusty bones. This place is like stepping into Night at the Museum, but it's not just about museums. KU is also home to a thriving arts scene. Theaters putting on mind-blowing performances and music venues that'll have you tapping your feet all night long. And let's not forget about the sports. KU basketball is legendary. Even if you're not a student, a visit to KU is an experience you won't soon forget. All right, folks, if the University of Kansas is the brain of Lawrence, then Mass Street is its beating heart. This is where the energy of the city comes alive, where history and hip culture collide in a beautiful, chaotic mess. Walking down Mass Street is like stepping back in time, but with a modern twist. You've got these gorgeous 19th century buildings with their intricate facades and stories whispered through the cracks in the brickwork. But instead of housing stuffy old businesses, these buildings are now home to independent bookstores with floor-to-ceiling shelves of literary treasures, vintage clothing stores overflowing with one-of-a-kind finds, and record shops blasting everything from classic rock to the latest indie hits. And let's not forget about the food. Mass Street is a foodie's paradise, with restaurants serving up everything from juicy burgers and crispy fries to farm-to-table masterpieces that'll have your taste buds singing. Now, when the sun starts to set, Mass Street transforms. The energy level kicks up a notch, the music spills out from the bars and clubs, and the streets come alive with a vibrant mix of students, locals, and visitors, all looking for a good time. We're talking about live music pouring out from every other doorway, from soulful jazz to foot-stomping bluegrass, and everything in between. And if you're looking for something a little more laid back, there are plenty of cozy pubs where you can grab a local craft beer and soak up the atmosphere. But the real magic of Mass Street lies in its people. This is a place where everyone is welcome, where conversations flow as freely as the beer, and where you're guaranteed to make a new friend or two before the night is over. So, whether you're a history buff, a foodie, a night owl, or just looking for a good time, Mass Street has something for everyone. All right, we've hit the road and made it out of the city. We're talking wide open spaces, fresh air, the kind of place that makes you want to ditch your phone, you know? Well, maybe not ditch it completely. Gotta grab some pics for the gram, right? But seriously, Clinton State Park, this place is like the definition of a hidden gem. We're talking over 1,500 acres of pure Kansas beauty, rolling hills, dense woodlands, and a massive lake just begging to be explored. And the best part is, this place has something for everyone. Hiking trails that wind through the trees, campsites perfect for roasting marshmallows under the stars. And if fishing is your thing, oh man, you're gonna love it here. Clinton Lake is known for its bass fishing, and I'm not talking about some tiny little fish. We're talking monster bass. So grab your gear, bait your hook, and get ready to reel in a whopper. Now, I know what you're thinking, Casey. This all sounds great, but I'm not really the outdoorsy type. Listen, I get it. Not everyone's cut out for roughing it in the wilderness. But that's the beauty of Clinton State Park. You can tailor your experience to fit your style. Rent a cabin if you're not into the whole tent thing, or pack a picnic and find a shady spot by the lake. There's even a disc golf course if you're feeling competitive. And for those who really want to immerse themselves in nature, there are designated areas for horseback riding. So whether you're an adrenaline junkie looking for adventure or just need a break from the daily grind, Clinton State Park has got you covered. Trust me, this is one place you don't want to miss. Next stop, Topeka. This is it, guys, the capital of Kansas. Now, I know what you're thinking. State capitals, they're all about boring government buildings and stuffy museums, right? Wrong. Okay, well, maybe there are a few government buildings. But trust me, Topeka is anything but boring. This city has a vibe unlike any other in Kansas. It's got this cool blend of history and modern energy that just sucks you in. We're talking vibrant murals, hip coffee shops, and a downtown area that's buzzing with life. And if you're a history buff, well, you're in for a real treat. Topeka played a pivotal role in the civil rights movement, and its legacy is visible throughout the city. So buckle up because we're about to dive headfirst into the heart of Kansas and uncover all the hidden gems this city has to offer. First up, we got to talk about the Kansas State Capitol. This building is iconic. I'm talking a masterpiece of architecture with its soaring dome and intricate details. And it's not just a pretty face, this place is steeped in history. Walking through its halls is like taking a trip back in time. You can practically feel the weight of all the important decisions that were made within these walls. But don't worry, it's not all serious history lessons here. They've got these awesome guided tours where you can learn all about the crazy stories and secrets hidden within the Capitol. Trust me, you haven't truly experienced Topeka until you've climbed to the top of that dome and taken in the panoramic views of the city. It's a view you won't soon forget. All right, guys, we've made it. We're standing in the shadow of the Kansas State Capitol building. This thing is massive, like seriously impressive. And the best part? We're going inside. Now, I'm not usually one for guided tours, but trust me on this one, it's worth it. They pack so much information into an hour, you'll be a Kansas history buff by the end of it. You'll hear stories about the building's construction, which, believe it or not, took over 30 years to complete. 30 years! Can you imagine working on a project for that long? But that's how they did things back then, with meticulous care and attention to detail. And it shows. Every inch of this building is a testament to the craftsmanship of a bygone era. Now, I know what you're thinking, Casey. This is all very interesting, but I'm not really into politics. And that's okay, because the Kansas State Capitol is about so much more than just politics. It's a symbol of the state's history, its resilience, and its spirit. As you walk through the halls, you'll see portraits of past governors, intricate murals depicting scenes from Kansas history, and exhibits showcasing the state's cultural heritage. One of the coolest things about the Capitol is the dome. It's not just any dome, it's actually modeled after the U.S. Capitol dome, but on a smaller scale. And the view from up there, let's just say it's pretty epic. You can see the entire city of Topeka spread out before you, with the Kansas River winding its way through the landscape. It's a view that'll stay with you long after you leave. All right, guys, we're still in Topeka, the heart of Kansas. And you know what that means? More hidden gems to unearth. We're talking about the Kansas Museum of History. This isn't your grandma's dusty attic of artifacts. This place is legit. A treasure trove of Kansas stories from the days of pioneers and cowboys to, well, whatever happened after that. We're talking about real-deal artifacts, photographs you can practically smell the history in, and exhibits that'll make you feel like you're walking through time. It's like stepping into a time machine. But instead of some clunky DeLorean, you've got climate-controlled rooms and well-lit displays. Trust me, whether you're a history buff or just along for the ride, this place will have you hooked. You ever think about the stuff we take for granted? The everyday objects that, define our existence? This museum gets it. They've got exhibits dedicated to the most mundane stuff, but here's the kicker, they make it fascinating. Who knew there was so much to learn about, like the history of agriculture in Kansas? But it's not just about plows and tractors, folks. This place tells the stories of real people, everyday Kansans who lived, loved, and, probably farmed on this very land. It's a powerful reminder that history isn't just dates in a textbook. It's the sum of countless individual stories, each one a thread in the rich tapestry of this state. And trust me, the Kansas Museum of History brings those stories to life. Okay guys, let's be real. Sometimes you just need a break from museums, right? Your brain's full, your feet hurt, and all you want is some fresh air and maybe an overpriced hot dog. Well, fear not, weary travelers, because Gage Park in Topeka is here to save the day. Now I know what you're thinking. A park? Casey, come on, get real. But hear me out, because this ain't your average patch of grass in a swing set. We're talking about a sprawling oasis in the middle of the city, a place where you can literally spend the entire day and still not see everything. We're talking about a zoo with animals from all over the world, gardens that'll make you believe in magic, and enough recreational activities to satisfy even the most easily bored traveler. First up, the Topeka Zoo. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Okay, maybe not all at once, but you get the idea. This place is home to a surprising diversity of creatures, from majestic predators to playful primates. And if furry friends aren't really your thing, don't worry, Gage Park has got you covered. Stroll through the serene botanical gardens, hop in a paddle boat on the lake, or just find a shady spot and soak up the sun. The energy here is infectious, with families picnicking, kids chasing pigeons, and old couples holding hands on park benches. It's a reminder that sometimes the simplest things in life are the most rewarding. All right, folks, buckle up, because we're about to take a trip back in time, back to the days of cowboys and outlaws, saloons and showdowns. That's right, we're headed to Dodge City, Kansas, a town that's practically synonymous with the Wild West. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dodge City? Isn't that just a dusty old town stuck in a time warp? And yeah, there's definitely some of that. But trust me, there's a reason this place is legendary. Walking down these streets, you can practically hear the spurs jingling and the saloon doors swinging. Now don't get me wrong, Dodge City knows how to play up its Wild West image. We're talking about gunfight reenactments, saloons serving up sarsaparilla, and enough cowboy hats to outfit an entire army. But beneath the surface, there's a real town here, with a rich history and a community that's fiercely proud of its heritage. And that's what makes Dodge City so special. It's a place where the past isn't just preserved, it's celebrated. And whether you're a history buff or just looking for a unique travel experience, Dodge City is guaranteed to leave a lasting impression. All right, guys, we're in Dodge City. We're diving headfirst into the Wild West. No time machine needed, just a straight shot to Boot Hill Museum. This place is like walking onto a movie set. Saloons, jails, and even a graveyard, all preserved. You can hear the spurs clinking and the piano playing. Live-action reenactments put you in the middle of a gunfight. Boot Hill Museum tells the stories of the real people. What's cool about Boot Hill is that it's not just stuck in the past. They've got rotating exhibits, events, and even gunfight shows throughout the year. So, whether you're a history buff or just looking for a fun day out, there's always something new to see and do. They've even got this awesome collection of Old West artifacts, guns, badges, clothing, you name it. It's like stepping back in time and seeing the real deal. You can practically feel the history radiating off these objects. And don't even get me started on the gift shop. They've got everything from cowboy hats and boots to old-timey candy and toys. It's the perfect place to pick up a souvenir to remember your trip to the Wild West. Honestly, Boot Hill Museum isn't just a museum, it's an experience. You walk through those doors and you're transported back to a time when life was a little rougher, a little wilder, and a whole lot more exciting. So, we're still in Dodge City, soaking up all that Wild West history. And what better way to do that than by hitting the Dodge City Trail of Fame? We're talking about Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Bat Masterson, the real deal. And now you can walk in their footsteps, literally. Now, you might be thinking, Casey, it's just a bunch of plaques on the sidewalk. But trust me, this trail is more than just names and dates. It's a way to connect with the past, to understand the people and events that shaped Dodge City and the Wild West. As you walk the trail, you'll start to notice the little details, the bullet holes in old buildings, the hitching posts where cowboys tied their horses, the saloons where they spent their hard-earned cash. It's like stepping back in time. And you know what's really cool? The Trail of Fame isn't just about the famous lawmen and outlaws. It also honors the everyday people who made Dodge City what it was. The shopkeepers, the blacksmiths, the saloon owners, the dance hall girls. It's a reminder that history isn't just about the big names. It's about the stories of everyone who lived, worked, and dreamed in a time and place that's long gone. All right, guys, we're heading out to Fort Dodge. It's a historic military site with a story to tell. Established in 1865, Fort Dodge was on the front lines of the Indian Wars. The American West was still wild, and soldiers protected settlers and kept the peace. You can feel the weight of history as you walk through the old buildings. The barracks where they slept, the mess hall where they ate, the parade grounds where they drilled. It's all still here, preserved as a testament to their service. Standing on the grounds of Fort Dodge, you can almost hear the echoes of the past. Now, Fort Dodge isn't just about the military history. It's also a place of incredible natural beauty. Situated on the banks of the Arkansas River, the fort offers some of the most stunning views in Kansas. We're talking wide open skies, rolling hills, and a sense of peace and tranquility that's hard to find in the hustle and bustle of city life. Take a walk along the riverbank. Breathe in the fresh air, and let the history of the place wash over you. It's a truly humbling experience. And here's a bonus. Fort Dodge is also home to a cemetery where veterans from various wars are laid to rest. Take some time to pay your respects to these heroes who served their country with honor and bravery. It's a reminder of the sacrifices made to protect our freedoms. All right, guys, we're in Hutchinson. This place is a hidden gem. First up, we're diving deep into the earth. We're going 650 feet underground to explore a salt mine. It's called Strataca, an underground museum. This is gonna be epic. Okay, guys, we made it down to Strataca. It's like another world down here, a hidden city carved out of salt. It's damp, dark, and a little eerie, but in the best way possible. Massive caverns, some as tall as a 10-story building, all made of salt. It's like walking through a crystal cave, except these crystals are salty. They've turned part of the mine into a storage facility for Hollywood movie props. We're talking about original props from Superman, Batman, even Gone with the Wind. This place is full of surprises. From the depths of the earth to the vastness of space, Hutchinson keeps throwing curveballs. We just left Strataca, our minds still reeling from that salty adventure, and now we're headed to the Cosmosphere. This isn't just some small-town space museum, guys. This place is legit. We're talking about one of the most comprehensive collections of space artifacts in the world. We're talking rockets, spacesuits, actual capsules that have been to space. I'm like a kid in a candy store here. I always wanted to be an astronaut as a kid. Still do, actually. There's something so captivating about space, about exploring the unknown. And here at the Cosmosphere, they bring that sense of wonder to life. They've got interactive exhibits, simulators, even a planetarium. I can't wait to get lost in the cosmos for a few hours. Let's do this. Okay, I'm geeking out here. The Cosmosphere is everything I hoped for and more. We're talking about an actual Apollo 13 command module. They've even got the Liberty Bell 7 capsule. Space exploration is the result of human ingenuity and courage. We even got to try out the astronaut training simulator. Those guys are the real deal. It's time to sit back, relax, and get lost in the stars. We went from the depths of a salt mine to the outer reaches of space. And now for something completely different. We're at the Hutchinson Zoo. After all that cosmic exploration, it's time to reconnect with our planet and the incredible creatures that call it home. Now, I know what you're thinking, Casey, a zoo in Kansas, but don't underestimate this place. It may not be the biggest zoo, but it's packed with personality. Plus, I'm a firm believer that every zoo has something special to offer. It's all about supporting conservation efforts, learning about different species, and appreciating the diversity of life on Earth. And who knows, maybe we'll even get to see some baby animals. Those are always a win. So let's grab some peanuts, put on our walking shoes, and get ready for some animal encounters. It's time to explore the wild side of Hutchinson. This zoo may be small, but it's mighty. They've got everything from majestic lions lounging in the sun to playful otters frolicking in their watery playground. I even got to feed a giraffe. Those long blue tongues are something else, I'm telling you. But it's not just about seeing the animals, it's about learning about them. The zookeepers here are incredibly passionate about what they do, and they're full of interesting facts about each species. Did you know that a group of owls is called a parliament? Or that a rhino's horn is made of hair? It's mind-blowing. What I love about this zoo is its dedication to conservation. They're actively involved in breeding programs and educating the public about the importance of protecting endangered species. It's inspiring to see a small zoo making a big impact. And you know me, I love a good underdog story. Hutchinson, you've outdone yourself again. Hutchinson Zoo isn't the biggest zoo you've ever seen. No elephants, no giraffes. But what you will find is a whole lot of heart. It's all about getting up close and personal. Nose to beak with cool birds, face to face with monkeys. Kids can really connect with nature. They've got a surprising variety of animals. Plus, they're all about conservation and education. So, if you're in Hutchinson, swing by the zoo. Hutchinson Zoo knows how to throw a good event. Almost every weekend, from animal encounters to educational programs, behind-the-scenes tours, keeper talks, the whole 9 yards. These aren't your average zoo events. Experts, interactive exhibits, learn something new, have fun, get closer to the animal kingdom. What makes Hutchinson Zoo special is the people. The staff here, they're passionate, they genuinely care about the animals. Always down to answer questions, tell stories, they bring a real sense of community, and that, my friends, is something special. Next stop, Manhattan, Kansas. No Empire State Building here, no Central Park. This Manhattan's laid back, but it's got its own charm. They call it the Little Apple, bursting with flavor. Check out Kansas State University. It's the heartbeat of Manhattan, buzzing with energy. And don't miss the Kanza Prairie, a sea of wildflowers. Now, I know what you're thinking, a prairie in Manhattan. But trust me, this isn't just any prairie, it's a living laboratory. Scientists are working to understand and preserve this unique ecosystem. And the best part is, you can explore it all for yourself. Learn about the plants and animals that call this place home. It's an experience that will stay with you long after you leave Manhattan. And that, my friends, wraps up our whirlwind tour of Kansas. We've seen it all, from the bustling streets of Wichita to the wide open spaces of the Flint Hills. We've explored museums, zoos, and historical landmarks, and we've experienced the warmth and hospitality that Kansas is known for. But most importantly, we've learned that Kansas is more than just a flyover state. It's a state with a rich history, a vibrant culture, and a whole lot of heart. So next time you're planning a trip, don't overlook Kansas. You might be surprised at what you find. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Travelers Café for more travel adventures. And be sure to hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on our next epic journey. Until then, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep on traveling.